Welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. As always, I'm here with Nick. I'm here with Emerson. Before we get into it, we want to remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys are diehard Sooner fans like us. Guys, I think we're going to talk about the season and how it was. The 2022 season. Is that okay with you guys? If I'm going to start off with this, okay? If the 2022 Oklahoma football team had a motto or a saying, it would be, it could always be worse.
I would agree with that.
It could always be worse. And at this point, guys, we're 6-6. It could always be worse still.
Hey, we're gonna break down this 2022 season, and guess what? Your motto, it can always be worse. We still got a bowl game. We're going bowling.
We are going bowling.
It hasn't been announced yet, but we're gonna find out real soon on who we're gonna be playing and what pool we get. So,
Emerson, what was that bowl game that you said that we might go to?
The guaranteed rate. Boy, guaranteed rate. With a T, tango.
In a baseball stadium. No, that's. I doubt we're going to go there. We might go to Texas.
In Phoenix, Arizona, which Phoenix would be nice.
Yeah.
In the winter, but
it's looking like we might play
Wisconsin, the Texas Bowl.
Missouri.
Okay,
Missouri.
yeah, Missouri. That is correct. Missouri.
That'd be a little juicy.
I think it would be.
Who knows?
I think we could beat them.
Little pod preview of the SEC in a couple years.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. People have said Mizzou would be in the pod. I don't know how I feel about it.
But they're thinking about not doing pods. They're thinking about just having one.
They haven't announced that yet.
Because I can agree and disagree with that, but imagine being like Ohio State like last weekend, being 11-0, and then losing your last game, and then not make it into your conference championship, and then seeing like somebody like, who is it, Purdue or somebody? I think Purdue, they're playing Purdue.
Yeah.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, the Purdue is come out of the West. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so back to the topic. So
got spanked by Michigan 2 years in a row. Harbaugh looking good.
I know.
Anyway, yeah.
I know. So Oklahoma finished in 6-6, guys. There's a lot of negativity going around on message boards, on Twitter, on Facebook from OU fans. Nick, you got a message for them?
Yeah, I want to remind everybody, okay, 2021, we are 6 wins by 7 points or less, okay? OU's already flirting with a thin line of death, okay, on being a 6-6 team. Okay,
Last
guys,
year.
Yeah.
we lose 8 starters on defense. We lose 44% of our roster, including the likely 2022 Heisman winner, Caleb Williams, a.k.a. the best player in college football. We also lose a backup quarterback who just happened to beat a number 5 Tennessee team, a number 8 Clemson team, who are actually both currently ranked in the top 10 in the college football playoff rankings that just dropped tonight.
Why is Clemson? Anyway, keep going.
Anyways.
Yeah, and pause.
Let me-
Great point, Nick. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. let me
Emerson's
remind you guys this, too. In the offseason, the only team I've ever seen in the history that I've been watching college football ever in my life, okay? OU's the first team that I've seen lose, not fire, a head coach, defensive coordinator, cornerbacks coach, D-line coach, quarterback coach, linebacker coach, wide receiver coach. If you guys think Brent Venables can just magically turn around the entire Oklahoma program within 8 months, you don't know a damn thing about college football, okay? It doesn't just turn around magically in a offseason, okay? I know OU had a lot of big expectations, but let's be realistic. Let's be realistic on the roster turnover and the transfer portal, the entire situation. 2022 comes around. There's 4 games decided by 1 possession or less, 3 in which those games were decided by 3 points or less. Kansas State beats Oklahoma 41-34. Baylor beats Oklahoma 38-35. West Virginia beats Oklahoma 23-20. Texas Tech beats Oklahoma 51-48.
In overtime.
Yes, I've been disappointed in the play. I think we are very capable. We should have beat Baylor, West Virginia, Texas Tech. You could argue Kansas State. But simply, this is the same team that we were last year. We were just finding ways to win with the players that we had.
With one of the best players in the country.
Yes.
Literally taking the ball out of another running back's hands to beat Kansas.
Yep.
last year.
Which we saw in
Had a
person.
crazy play that
Which we saw
that
in
a lot of
person.
people, that a lot of people argued should have been illegal.
And
yeah.
I didn't mention that about 6 of those guys that were on that defense were NFL players that just got drafted.
Yep. 4 D linemen and a linebacker. And one of them is playing for the best defense in the league at Denver right now. And he's tearing it up. So, 2 of them are.
I don't know, man. A lot of these fans are just used to winning constantly, and I get it. Oklahoma hasn't had this bad of a conference record, an overall record like this since 98, 99 era. Year before Stoops came in, and the year Stoops came in. And then the next year they won a national championship. I'm not saying, guys, we're going to win a national championship next year by any means, but I'm saying give it some time. Oklahoma will compete for a Big 12 championship next year. They will compete for one. I'm not saying they're going to win one by any means, but guys, and some people are complaining about Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel is a savior to this team. He is a savior, man. Look at this. Against TCU, he went out. They lost 55-24. Yeah, he was inaccurate at times. We didn't have him against Texas. It was 49-0. We lost in the Cotton Bowl against Texas. Guys, if Dylan Gabriel was in the game, we wouldn't have lost 49-0. I don't know if we could have won, but I don't think we would have won. It wouldn't have been 49-0.
We would have got shut out.
Exactly. I think it would have been maybe like a 38-21 game, 38-24 game, maybe. You know.
Maybe, yeah.
But guys, you know, you got all these fans.
If they even get 3, it's like still not a shutout. You know, like come on.
Yeah, you know, you have all
Who
these
cares?
fans
Like,
just
just don't
giving
get
in
shut out.
their input on what they would do if they were the head coach with all their training and experience. They don't know nothing, man. Nothing.
Let me give you guys his numbers really, really quick. Okay. He's about 75 yards short of 3,000 yards. He's got 24 touchdowns and he's got 6 interceptions with a QB rating of 75%. Okay. That's not a bad season. Is it the level that we expect at OU, considering all the quarterbacks that we've had in the last 5-10 years? No, it's not. But it was nothing that, we should bench Dylan Gabriel because he's not a good quarterback.
Who are we going to put in there? Who are we going to put in there?
He's a good quarterback. He just hasn't been a Heisman quarterback, in which we have all been blessed to see at OU for the last decade.
Constantly.
Dylan Gabriel is
decade.
a college level, probably above average starter.
He is.
He has his physical limitations, but you can live with that. And with a team like Oklahoma that should have as much talent around him and talent on the defense to kind of make up for those limitations. I mean, I saw a tweet today that had Oklahoma offense in the top 20 or 30 in a lot of categories. And, I mean, Dylan Gabriel tied the record with Baker Mayfield for 6 touchdown passes in a game the other night against Tech.
Which it should have been 7 because there was one called back.
Yeah, and he had 1 interception. It's a pretty good night. You're going to take that. If you're a coach and I come, hey, your quarterback's going to throw 6 touchdowns and 1 interception tonight. You're going to take that? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to take that. Like, you know, and the team was just uncomplimentary the whole year. So, like I understand, like, there's things that can be improved with the offense as far as, like, you know, the tempo can kind of work against them. It seems like at times, like, they need to control it. And, like, even with the Oklahoma State game, the 1 win out of the last 4 games, and even that one was kind of unsettling because you're like, well, they completely shut down after the first quarter.
Yeah, we play our best quarter of football in that first quarter, and we don't score any more points after that. And hats off to the defense too in that game because it was electric.
Yeah.
Guys, it was crazy being in that stadium that night, but defense played lights out for 4 quarters.
Yeah. So it's just kind of it's a very weird season, and there's I mean, it's a first-time head coach and a lot of players that, like, you know, weren't starters last year, and you know, the Big 12 was actually, I think, really competitive this year, and I think every team was pretty close to each other. So
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Sorry.
what's happening?
Nah, Adam was giving me a note from the back. Guys, back to my point, it could always be worse. It could. It really could. What if? Okay, I'm going to tell you this now, okay? After the Nebraska win, 49-14, okay? We had 3 straight losses after that, okay? Oklahoma could just rolled over and lost the rest of their games. They could have closed the season out at 3-9.
You guys, this is the most stacked I've ever seen the Big 12. Probably since the 2008 era football when you had Oklahoma, Texas Tech up there. That was just completely stacked.
Yeah.
But the rest of the Big 12 wasn't as gnarly as what it is right now. Every team can go out and beat you. Every single team in the conference can.
Yeah.
And they've all shown that too.
Yeah, they can.
And we forget that. That doesn't get talked about enough. And people don't, like Emerson, kind of what we were talking about earlier, the Big 12 just doesn't get the credit for what they do.
Yeah. And there's always these little things that happen that can make the Big 12 look like crap to the whole rest of the country.
Like what, Emerson?
Take for example, I'm glad you asked. K-State losing to Tulane earlier in the year. What was it? 17-10, right? I think.
Yes.
Or something
like
close
yeah.
to that. I don't know.
And dude, people talk shit on Oklahoma all last year because they almost lost to Tulane. Well, guess what? They fucking did. They fucking won the game, okay? Which is all that fucking matters. All right. But K-State is going to roll in here after losing to Tulane in the pre-season or in the non-con. And watch him beat and ruin undefeated TCU season so they don't go to the CFP, and everyone's going to be staring at K-State like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Why would you? Just let them fucking, come on. And K-State will be like, oh, yeah, we did it, blah, 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 blah. This is a great season for us. And it's like, God, that stupid stuff like that makes, losing to Tulane and then winning the Big 12 championship, it's like, well, how really good is the Big 12? Yada, yada, yada. It makes those talking points so, I don't know, has such more emphasis is all I got to say. It's just.
No, you hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head. But you take, who's a bottom feeder in the SEC? Is Vanderbilt a bottom feeder this year?
Vandy.
Are they?
Always.
Mizzou.
You take Vandy. I don't think they beat Iowa State.
I don't think so.
I don't think they beat Iowa
so.
State. Because Iowa State, yeah, they got 4 wins, 3 wins, something like that. But they got a damn good defense.
Yeah. Most of their games have been decided by 1 possession or less.
Just
like us.
So, I don't know. But going back to what Nick said, guys, we lost everybody. We had a horrible offseason, and Brent Venables comes in, puts a team together at the last minute, gets us to a bowl game. Guys, be thankful, man. Be thankful.
And I also want to say, in that 2021 season, don't forget, I believe we were ranked number 2 in the nation, and we were far from it. Mm-hmm. We were not that team.
To anyone actually watching football every Saturday, Oklahoma was not the best looking team.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
not even close.
It seems like Oklahoma flourishes the years that they're not expected to do shit.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? And then when the country's full of Oklahoma seems like they're full of themselves, and then they just flop.
Yeah.
What year was that? 2011, when Oklahoma started the season number 1. You remember that? 2011, they started the season number 1, and they went 7 or 8-0, and then they lost to Texas Tech at home by 3 points. But that's beside the point.
And then, for an example, 2015, we weren't expected to do much at all, and then we go and make a run for the college football playoff, and
we lose it, but we won the Big 12. We did, yeah, absolutely. So I don't know, guys. It could always be worse. So I don't know.
And it seems like the recruiting class, for the most part, is going to stay intact, which that is the biggest thing. I think there's some bright spots on the roster right now, but there's also some spots that could use some new additions. And, I think Brent and his guys know who they want for their defense. And I think that's going to be a big part. Because when he went to Clemson, their defense didn't immediately start to just dominate. He had to get his guys in there, and he had to let his staff work.
Yeah.
So,
And it's also common sense. You can't expect him to be elite from the get-go because you have Venables. You see Venables working his ass off on the sideline, getting the play calls in. And you guys, when I was at that Oklahoma State game, and I got to see this three-man front, three-down lineman, it looked a whole lot better than what it does on TV. And you see what he's trying to do, and it looks freaking awesome. And it looks intimidating. And once we have those guys that he's recruiting, you guys, it's going to be such a tenacious defense, and I'm so excited to see it.
We're headed in the right direction, and I think this is going to be a coach that's going to stick around for a while. This guy's an OU fan, man. This guy has a different attitude than what Lincoln Riley did, And like I told Nick, going back to Lincoln Riley, I remember me and Nick were watching the highlights from the Ohio State-Oklahoma game, Lincoln Riley's first year, and that spark of fire that Lincoln Riley had in his eyes during that game, you didn't see that one bit in 2021.
Not even close.
You know what I mean?
Not even close.
You didn't,
Yeah. And that's probably why they skirted along by the edge of their teeth to 9-0, to start the season last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and there were still bright spots and things to be hopeful for the future, especially with this COVID year. You could still get some pretty important pieces back, and Deshaun White, I think he's probably gone, but he played a really difficult position, learning a brand new defense just like everyone else, and he was the cheetah for pretty much the entire year, and for the most part, he did a pretty damn good job playing the position, I think. And being out in space for a guy that's really not that fast, but he's just got really good instincts. There were bright spots like Billy Bowman. I know these guys didn't make all the plays they could have, but they're still really good athletes, and you saw sparks of them starting to understand. So, there's going to be guys that it's still going to take a while for them, with the addition of new guys, to get the defense kind of rolling in the right direction, and
yeah,
and the offense has weapons. Mims is a dude, and hopefully he doesn't leave. Theo Weiss already entered the transfer portal, which hopefully
for a second time
for him.
For a second time. Yeah, and I guess one of my
good point.
One of my only complaints really about this team is the damn jet sweeps. God damn it,
The
man.
sweep to Drake's team.
Yeah, come on. All right. It worked against Kansas and against UTEP, but damn. Okay.
Yeah. We always
Give it to Gavin Freeman.
We always saw just flashes of what the offense could have been.
Yes.
But we always stalled out. There's no consistency ever throughout the season, and that was really one of the biggest things that hurt us. And when you're trying to go fast pace and your offense doesn't click, it's just not going to work out, and your defense is going to be on the field 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But that is one thing that I've heard, right, that I do kind of agree with, is that they can use the hurry up when they want to be effective with it and use it as a weapon, but it doesn't have to be used all the time.
correct.
When you're up 28-0 against Oklahoma State in the third quarter and your offense hasn't been, doing that well, and they've seemed kind of off, maybe slow it down and say, hey, take the play clock down to 10 seconds and then snap it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that the coaching staff should hopefully self-evaluate. They seem like they're pretty good at self-evaluating so far, and say, hey, we can use this weapon more efficiently next year if we understand the game situation a little bit better.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens.
Yeah, and like how Nick said, what the offense can be, we had some flashes of what they can be. Man, they can really, if they can stay clicking like that, and they can just keep going, they're going to be fine. Because guys, Dylan Gabriel's only going to get better. He's going to be a lot better next year. Give him some time in this place. Let him settle in. Let him get another year, or have that year under his belt, guys. Dylan Gabriel's going to be good.
Well, the thing is, hopefully he decides to
and-
come back because a lot of the OU fan base is so negative.
Yeah.
It's like, give the guy time because, like I alluded to earlier, this team was all thrown together within less than 8 months. You know, Dylan Gabriel was not the quarterback a season ago, obviously, and all new players, and that takes time to adjust to. Getting on the same page as your receivers, your tight ends, your running backs, the whole offense in general. And it's also a new offense for all these guys that were already on the team. So it's just a massive thing to get used to in a short amount of time. So
The future is bright, guys. The future is going to be bright. We're going to be just fine. You know, it is what it is. You know, we've been spoiled. We've been just smashing the Big 12 for the last 20 fucking years.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're 6-6 one year for the first time in 1998. Who can say that? Okay, I know we can't say like Alabama that we've had multiple national championships, but even Alabama can't say that they've been that good for that long. Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying we're better than Alabama by any means, because we're not. Alabama has a lot more national championships than Oklahoma does. But nobody can say that. Who can say that?
Let me give you guys this example, okay? Texas has been dog shit for the last 10 years, at least, okay? But they've always maintained a top 10 recruiting class. Oklahoma's going to be the same team. Like, no matter how bad we are this season, we are going to improve. OU is not Texas. OU is not Nebraska. We will improve and we will get better because this staff isn't going to be going anywhere. And we have a great coaching staff. If you look top to bottom, it is crazy how good they really are. So let them get their players.
Aren't they about to get like Malcolm Kelly coming in at wide receiver coach? Maybe.
Are they?
I don't know. That's where.
I didn't. Hear
I think
about
he coaches
that,
at another place.
But I heard of another Sooner that was a former player that was looking to get on the staff.
Okay, maybe I got the wrong name.
Hopefully Drake Stoops comes and
I can see it. I can see it.
Drake Stoops is a.
That'd be sick.
It would be. It'd be awesome. But yeah, so guys, the future's bright. We're gonna be just fine. We're gonna be just freaking fine. Like I said,
And Jackson Arnold is coming in next year.
He is, and he won't start. He will not start next year. He won't. And I don't want to hear the shit. Oh, put him in. Put him. He doesn't have the experience.
If Dylan Gabriel doesn't come back, then
he's 100% the guy. I'm just saying, like.
Does Dylan Gabriel have another year?
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does.
Okay.
Yeah, and Dylan Gabriel was asked if he's going to be coming back, and he said it's way too early for me to decide right now.
Yeah.
So you can take that.
So we don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take that how it is. You know, you don't know what the guy's thinking right now. So.
Yeah.
But I will say, whoever we do play in this bowl game, it does fucking matter because Oklahoma could still have a losing season.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't want. At least get the winning season. You got the bowl. Like,
hey, we won.
Call it a win and move on.
We won our national championship this year, and that was Bedlam. That was our national championship this year. Usually,
the Red River was the national championship.
Well, no, it wasn't because
we didn't have our starter, so that game didn't count to me.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Still.
Yeah.
Well, I guess going into the season.
Yeah.
You consider. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah, at this point, we're kind of rambling, so I think we're going to close it out, guys. Emerson, do you have anything you want to throw in there?
No, I'm good.
You're good? Have you said your piece?
Yeah. I mean, I know it sucks. Just, try to be optimistic. There's a lot to look forward to.
Exactly, and we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled for the longest time. Am I right? I mean,
you are
100%
right. You are
100%.
right.
So, Nick, do you have anything?
I would just say before we wrap it up, you guys watching, if you have any recommendations on what kind of videos you guys want us to, we would be happy to take your recommendations and do videos on whatever topics that you guys choose. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to close it up. Just want to remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. If you don't like our content, let us know. comment's a comment. Feedback's feedback. We don't give a... Just kidding. Boomer Sooner, guys. We'll see you guys later.
Boomer.